Hey Sass Squad, welcome back to the video. So I was posting on my community tab on YouTube that I was going to experiment with Snowy Castform in the Great League Remix. I've tried using this Pokemon many of time in the past, whether it be Sylph or GBL or whatever, and I definitely feel that it's a Pokemon that does struggle because it is mono ice type and it doesn't really have coverage moves. But I see that this Pokemon is ranked number 11 in the Great League Remix, so I'm trying my best to make this Pokemon work. So I'm going to show you some battles. I'm actually kind of shocked how well this team is working, but I thought you would enjoy these battles. Let's jump into it. So yeah, okay, we're going to start off. I'm going to have 20 battles again today like I had in my last video. And we did have 2 4-1s and 2 3-2s. So we do have a nice amount of wins and losses that we can cover here. So this lead, this is so bad for us. You have to understand how bad this is. I don't really have a good way to deal with some of these water ice types. So we're going to actually, instead of bringing in Seviper, which you would think might be a better matchup, it is, but we don't want to bring in Seviper because they're just going to switch out anyways. So I'm bringing Wishcash and we're going to like contest here. And in a way, this may seem very unorthodox how to play these matches, but like realistically, we don't have the best way to encounter this. And look, they even have another problem for our team is a Frostlass. So how can I possibly come out on top in this situation? And there you go, they even have a Machamp in the backline as well. Excuse me. So yeah, this is just crazy. So the thing is, Castforms are very bulky, so I'm actually gonna be able to get to my Weather Ball, and there was a little bit of lag there. It's hard to tell if the lag mattered or not. Like, I don't even know if they had the energy. But in comes the Frostlass. And we're able to get off a little bit of damage. This is crazy. This whole battle is actually absurd. Because as you'll tell here, this Frostlass has so much energy. I don't think, personally, there's not a lot that we can do here. I mean, the ghost typing resist poison. We're able to actually get off the Poison Fang, which is kind of huge because we can get the defense drop. And just barely, we can win with the Wishcash there. Like, there's so many insane battles today, so stay tuned, grab some popcorn. We get ourselves a Scizor lead again. We don't really have the best switch in here. I don't want to bring in Wishcash because that's our best way to deal with this, so I'm going to bring in Seviper. And instead of going for Poison Fang, what's the point? They actually don't shield, which, you know, inevitably creates a great scenario for us. We can bring Wishcash, and granted, we're still kind of scared here, but now that we know that they have a Shadow Quagsire, I'm assuming most Quagsire are going to be running Stone Edge Sludge Bomb. That's what it feels like I've been noticing in this format. But, yeah, we do not... I mean, if they had Earthquake, I feel like that would have been the move they threw there. Because Stone Edge and Sludge Bomb are both resisted by Wishcash, so that's why I assume that's the moveset. In comes the Drapion, and I'm actually going to bring in my Castform right away because I figure, you know, Castform's a little bulky. I might be able to come out on top in this situation. We get a defense drop, but again, it doesn't matter because the Drapion has to throw energy here. And fortunately, unfortunately for us, they do connect, and we actually are in a pretty decent scenario still because we have the shield, we have energy buildup on Wishcash, so we can knock out this Drapion, and now we can just barely take down Quagsire. So pretty intense battles so far. I honestly just went into today's stream in these battles. I had no expectations. I decided I just want to have fun. So in this situation, they make a switch to Frostlass because they lose the lead, and we're actually going to switch in our Seviper. And I mean, it's kind of hard to say if this was the right switch in or not. You know, it's a really spicy line that I decided to try out here. But yeah, we're just gonna take the Avalanche to the face, but I do feel like what I should have done is try to get that shield. I think I mess up, and even here, we're gonna get hit by a Shadow Ball. I think what I had to do in this battle, especially, was contest shields with Frostlass and leave them with 0 shields because them having a shield for their backline actually is a huge issue, but I think otherwise we could have maybe done something because the Empoleon is afraid of Mud Bombs, and obviously the Noctowl fears the Blizzard, but yeah, great game on their end, really nicely done. So in this next battle, we get a Hypno. And, you know, I'm just gonna stay in. I honestly feel as if most people, they do not respect the Snowy Castform's Blizzard. And, you know, I don't see the point in baiting here, but they make a great call, and they do shield. So, this is a situation where, obviously, if I had double Weather Ball instead of throwing Blizzard, and they shielded that, that would have been really advantageous for us. But, you know, not everything happens that way. And they make a great switch into their Dugong here, but the thing is, this isn't actually terrible, because Dugong doesn't really threaten Wishcash. 100, like, it's not like that. This is like a very balanced matchup. I mean, we're not going to shield back to it, but getting those 2 Mud Bombs off prior to the Icy Wind debuff is huge for us. And we're just going to keep throwing Mud Bombs. I mean, that's pretty much what Wishcash is known to do. So... yeah. Alright. Sorry, I had to close the door. Alright, so... in comes the Hypno again, and the thing about this is, actually, I've never played Viper before in Great League. I actually powered it up for this. But, you know, they get the Clefable in the back line, and we had all that energy, so they didn't want to stay in to take those double Poison Fangs and Poison Jab damage. So, okay, this is a battle where we actually get a nice lead as well. We're not really afraid of the regular Stunfisk. They make a great swap to their Alolan Marowak. But, you know, honestly, we have a great switch in for this Pokemon. So we're gonna bring in Wishcash, and there we go. You know, I was willing, I knew it wasn't a Shadow Ball, but I wasn't planning on shielding this matchup. I know I could take a Shadow Bone, and it worked out really well because they actually tried to bait with a Bone Club. Either they had a Shadow Ball and they couldn't get to it, or whatever. But anyways, they bring back in their regular Stunfisk, and fortunately for us, this is actually not even threatening to Wishcash either. But yeah, we're just gonna take those Mud Bombs, and we're gonna return one. You know, it's like common courtesy. And then in comes the Hypno. So this time, we are going to bring back in our... This is crazy, because this is how I view this. We only have Hypno in the back line. I'm going to lower this thing's defenses and just start launching off Weather Balls. Yeah, so generally when I'm trying... when I'm trying a new line, or I'm trying something spicy, or I'm trying something that typically is hard to use, like Snowy Castform, there's going to be a huge learning curve on how to approach the battles. Especially since I'm not even sure what people are running in Remix this season, and I mean, on top of it, we're just kind of like playing about ear. We're just trying to optimize the random matchups in our favor to some degree, right? Okay, so in this matchup, we actually get a Cantonian Raichu lead. And if I remember correctly, I think I misplay at some point in this match. So we're going to stay in and just throw... You know, I should have potentially... Oh, I know what I did here. So I took that move, and instead of just staying... Like, what they do is they switch their Surf Edge, and I switched simultaneously to Wishcash. So this wasn't a situation where we predicted each other. We just kind of already knew what we were going to switch to after that big moment happened. And unfortunately for me, I make the wrong switch in. And in my mind, Viper is the real switch in. That would have been a pretty good situation for us. So in this matchup, I actually could have... again, like I said, I've never played Viper before. And right here... As you can tell, the way that played out was a little sloppy on my end. And I realized after the fact that if I would have just gone Crunch, I'm pretty sure I knocked out in that range. So yeah, a little bit of mistake on my end. I mean, it's a Viper. I was thinking I had to go Poison Fang and then Crunch. But when I looked at the calcs after the fact, if I would have just thrown Crunch, I think I could have actually just come out on top there. But yeah, great game regardless. Right. So, and again, like, if we would have been able to make the right switch in on the Surf Edge, we could have had our Wishcash for the Hypno in the back. So in this battle, we get a knockdown, and they end up just staying in. We're not really sure why, but we're not going to think about it too much either. So they switched into their Lapras, and now we're actually going to switch in Viper, because realistically, this is our best switch in when we have a solid safe swap like this. Like, this is not a safe swap. This is like, you know, Wishcash I could bring in, but obviously getting these Poison Fangs and Poison Jab damage is really big for us. And I think here they actually just let Lapras go, which, you know, unfortunately for them, creates a really nice situation for us. And we're just going to bring Wishcash on their Quagsire. And if we know anything about the previous Quagsire, we're going to assume the Ring Sludge Bomb and Stone Edge. And, you know, even at EQ, I would be willing to take that to the face. So what I end up doing is I'm just going to go straight Blizzard on this Quagsire. And it really pays off. I shield Wishcash. I save a little bit of energy on Wishcash. And now I'm just going to bring in Castform. I know I can take any move it throws at me. And we are able to just launch a Blizzard on this Quagsire to knock it out. So the thing about Castform, this variant of Castform, it's a little spicy purely because Ice has great offensive typing. It's just for how common Fire, Rock, Steel, and Fire types are in this meta, it's very one-dimensional. This is actually a crazy battle, I remember a little bit. So we get a Greedent lead, and obviously it has Bullet Seed, right? So I'm just like, I'm not worried about these Body Slam, I'm just gonna take it. And in comes the Machamp, which was a great switch, and honestly, I kind of like reacted way too slow here. Wasn't really a smart call on my end to keep the Castform in when I had a guarantee lock-in switch. And generally, we're trying to use Viper to trap the fighters. So here, great call on their end, and we do shield the Rock Slide. We can't afford to take that Rock Slide. But unfortunately for our opponent here, they have a Dedenne, and if you know anything about Dedenne, it's a fairy type, so it's weak to poison, and honestly, we're not even scared of Dedenne because we have a Wishcash in our back line, so we just eliminate this Dedenne, and they just end up quitting the battle. You know, honestly, on stream, I was just blown away by some of these matches. I mean, that one wasn't particularly that crazy, but there are some, there's a couple more that are just, I don't even know how I won them, honestly. So, in this match, we're going to switch into the mirror, and I don't know, like, they should have energy ahead of me, but they're just not throwing it, and I'm just gonna throw a Blizzard. It connects. I'm gonna, in my mind, I don't mind taking a Blizzard. And here we go again, and for whatever reason, we're like ahead. And the way I look at this is like, I mean, if I shield, I win switch, which is huge. It doesn't matter if I'm down a shield in my mind, because we already won the lead, and in comes the knockdown. So because I can actually get to a Blizzard before I die, I'm just gonna throw the Blizzard. There's no point in baiting here, and it's nuts because they don't even shield it. They just take a Blizzard straight to the face. In comes the Machamp, which, you know, this is a little scary, but like I said earlier, our Viper is pretty much on our line so we can take care of these fighting types. And between Poison Fang and Poison Jab damage, it does a decent amount. And as you can tell here, they can't even get to the cross chop. Really great situation for us. We throw the Poison Fang. I don't even think they shield this. Oh, wait, they do shield. But I think we actually just knock out, yeah. We just knock it out with the Viper. Pretty insane battle, honestly. Okay, this is one. So, like I said, these ice water types are generally really hard for us to contest. But I figured in this match, what I would do is build energy, take the Icy Wind, and switch to Viper. And then Dugong doesn't switch out. So we're actually going to shield the first Icy Wind. And interesting enough, they do switch out here. I was thinking they were going to wait for Poison Fang to buff and then switch out. But fortunately for us, we just have all of this energy. And right there, we make some nice calls to weaken the Gallade here. And I'm going to bring in Castform. I think I was fearing potentially a close combat, but I also suspect that it wasn't. And we know that Dugong is kind of scary for Castform, so we don't really need it as of right now. We get a Blizzard off on Dugong, and as you can see, it just tanks that even without the debuff. In comes the Lantern, and I could not ask for a better backline for our team, because now this means we essentially can use the Lantern to build up energy. I mean, we have a shield also, remember. we're going to be able to easily take out this Lantern. They didn't try to trick me initially, so I already knew it was Thunderbolt, the first one. And here, I didn't want to risk getting hit by a Hydro, but they just end up throwing... I mean, whatever, right? And there you go, that's the game. There's nothing... I'm pretty confident that even with this Icy Wind... Oh, okay, yeah, I remember what I did. I actually switched out and kept that Mud Bomb. You know what's crazy here? I could have lost this battle because of this play. I should have just thrown the Mud Bomb because I just... So this Dugong, it could have knocked me out with the Icy Wind. And yeah, that was just... I almost fed that Dugong the wind condition. That was absurd. So in this next battle, we have a Cresselia lead. And I'm going to just take the Moonblast, but I'm just going to go straight Blizzard. I mean, if you were Cresselia, would you shield me? And there you go. There's your answer. That person didn't want to shield. And really great call here to bait with Grass Knot, because I could have eaten that relatively easy, but I didn't. I just feared the Moonblast. We are able to knock out Cresselia. In comes the Machamp. I want to get off a Weather Ball. I mean, this is pretty big. I mean, it's unfortunate to get this feed off me, but also this is terrible for the Machamp because we're not even afraid of this now. Like, while that was scary at fuller health and shields, it became one that isn't too frightening. But they do end up having a Diggersby here in the back line, which is a little frightening because we don't have any shields. And even in that situation, Poison Fang was not the play. I should have thrown, I suspected maybe we would get a shield, but you'll kind of see here how much that Crunch debuff maybe mattered. I mean, how much throwing Crunch with no shield might have mattered versus what actually happened. So we are able to like get the shields here. We're gonna get hit by EQ. That's just how it is, right? And in comes my Seviper. Unfortunately for me, we're just gonna get EQ'd. And it's hard to say, but I do feel like at least it would have been better to throw Crunch there, knowing that they probably weren't afraid of a poison move being a ground type. But yeah, really great battle on their end. Tough Pokemon overcome in the end. So we get a Blastoise. This is another situation where I'm like, I really don't know what to do against this. Like, I want to bring in Seviper, right? But I'm just going to bring in Whiscash to be our safe swap. My whole theory... they made a great switch there, by the way. That was insanely good. Because they waste my energy, and now I'm like, oh, come on, dude, really? Really good. We do get a shield back, though. And I think I just let Whiscash go, knowing that this is obviously a great matchup here for our Castform. And crazy enough, Knocked Out can't even kill us, so I'm going to get another Blizzard off here, and that's huge. I mean, honestly, it's huge, but it's also not the best situation. Because like I said earlier, Blastoise, how do they deal with that, right? So, I'm pretty sure Blastoise... Oh, no. Blastoise doesn't come in because we actually didn't bring in Castform. In my mind, I was like, let me bring in Seviper and get some energy lead here. And I think that was the right call. Like, here I actually throw Crunch. And, I mean, I think that was the right call, maybe, because it does more damage. I mean, maybe the Poison Jab and debuff would have been smarter, but I feel like we still kind of come out on top there. And here we get a chance to get off that debuff on Blastoise. I think that's pretty big. They do use their shield, so I know I can tank Hydro Cannon from Blastoise, and I try to go for Blizzard. It doesn't pay off. But what this does mean is that I can come in with Seviper and actually get a Poison Fang off and win the battle. Because they threw that Hydro Cannon right as they got it. And Water Gun is not really the best energy gaining move. So still worked out in our favor. As you can tell, we kind of have to like play this team really odd at times. So okay, they have a Zweilous lead, and I kind of make I'd say this is arguably not the right call. Like, I have a great switch in for Drapion, but I got like greedy, and I wanted to get a Blizzard off here. Not really the best call on my end because they end up shielding too. Which, I'm not gonna lie, I thought they weren't gonna shield this at all. But yeah, I should have just brought in Whiscash. We got the defense drop. It's unfortunate for us because the next move is going to hurt. And the Zweilous coming in, is gonna essentially be able to just kind of like farm down with Dragon Breath here, but they didn't even try to shield it. And you know, this is a little preemptive on my end to throw that move like that. But fortunately for us, the Trevenant in the back line is not that scary. Like obviously it's kind of able to deal a little bit here, but getting that defense drop and having Castform just kind of come in, that's pretty nice for us, honestly. So we should be able to just get off a Weather Ball and call it a win. All right. Yeah. Let's see what we get in our next battle. Okay, we get a Wishcash lead. This is actually a lead that I don't need to switch out on. I think I may have accidentally switched. I might have. Did I have one of these already? Because I remember my first Wishcash lead, I accidentally switched out on, which you honestly don't have to do that. Oh my gosh. Like I told you, no one respects the Blizzard, yo. And at this point, I'm just farming down. And I find this to be a pretty good situation. Oh, I remember this battle now. This Greedent tries to farm me. I just got a notification from Adobe. They try to farm me, and look how much damage I do before I die. Like, understand I'm resisting its fast moves. And I throw 2 Weather Balls. Like, I was pretty much dead. And they let me do this to them. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's actually nuts. And yeah, at this point, I'm like, I could just take double body slam, farm down, because I'm resisting the bullet seeds here as well. And at this point, I have a lot of energy, and in comes the Trevenant. And honestly, this is a little scary. I'm going to just throw the Crunch. And fortunately for us, because we switch right away with Wishcash, we actually are able to get to the Blizzard in time before they can get to another Seed Bomb. And if I remember correctly, a Seed Bomb from Trevenant only does like around 73% of my health. So I think there is a slight chance that even if it did connect a second Seed Bomb, I would have been able to still... I still would have been able to throw a Blizzard there. But it is very important that we made that switch as fast as we did. Alright, let's see what we get in our next battle here. Alright, so we get a Napoleon lead. Obviously, this is not good. So I'm going to bring in Seviper. And obviously, nothing on my team can really deal with this aside Wishcash. But we're just going to throw the Crunch. And here I get a little nervous that I'm going to die to the waterfalls. So figured anything would be better than nothing. And fortunately for us, they do shield this. But I don't think this was exactly the right play on my end. Because, I mean, granted, Castform can't really do much either here. Alright, let's just see how this plays out. Because they switch in their Golbat. And we can't do anything. We have to just take it. But we're not afraid of the Shadow Ball. And maybe even Shadow Ball is a little bit better for us here. That way we don't have drop defense. But in comes the Grand Bowl. And I make a terrible play and not use my energy here. And that's game at this point. Because I don't know why. I figured maybe if I throw a Blizzard, they might not shield it. But I think I really needed to throw that Weather Ball on my Castform. Because Grand Bowl is so frail as a Shadow. Yeah, great game though. So in this battle, again, when I get something like this, I generally switch to my Wishcash because I'm ideally trying to line up my Seviper with this Pokemon at some point later in the match. So we're gonna switch in we're gonna switch in the Wishcash regardless of if it's gonna lose the matchup, just to mess up the switch timer. And in comes their Wishcash. We do have a Blizzard, we're gonna throw it. They don't shield it, that's great for us. And they're trying to gain extra energy. We're just gonna throw a Mud Bomb on top of it. And I think in this battle, I think we actually get a 3rd shield. Yeah, we get a 3rd shield there. I don't know how that shit happens, honestly. It's really annoying, but I'm pretty sure I lost the match because of that. If I remember this match, because if we would have knocked out Wishcash there, and we would have been able to have switch advantage, and yeah, honestly, that is huge. Like rewatching this, I can see now how significant, because look how much damage that Wishcash was able to get off on our Castform, when if we just didn't get a 3rd shield there, we would have actually either got a shield from Wishcash, or we would have just knocked it out. And at this point, we're just going to lose, because even though they have the Marowak in the back line, obviously this is probably gonna be a little tough regardless, but this matchup I think was more playable with a shield or whatever. But anyways, like, we're not gonna dwell on that. So they get a Trevenant lead. We're gonna stay in. Again, I should just switch here directly to the Wish Cache. Like, realistically, there's really no need for me to prove anything in this matchup. But yeah, we're gonna switch into Wish Cache a little too late. I think they get a debuff on Crunch, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they got a debuff, which really unfortunate for me. Puts a little more pressure on having to throw a shield, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna let it go. Well, they switch out, and here I'm gonna actually commit a shield because I want to throw the Blizzard on Trevenant and try my best to get the shield or let it go. And because they know, I mean, they're making a risky call. Maybe they thought I was gonna bait, but they end up just letting it go to the Blizzard. And we're not gonna shield here. There's really no reason to. And we're gonna bring in Seviper primarily because I want to get energy lead. So in this matchup, obviously this is not good, right? We have a Registeel in the back line, and I know they're not going to shield here. And even though it seems appealing to get a defense drop in this scenario, realistically, we have to get off damage. Like, nothing we have is super effective. Our poison moves are resisted, the ice moves are resisted. We have to throw these crunches. If we got a defense drop in the process, that'd be nice, but even if we get a defense drop, we can't actually take advantage of the defense drop. So yeah, this is a crazy battle because we are actually going to get knocked out here by the Reggie, but because it's lock on, we're so close. I honestly was going to try to get to the Crunch, but I realized I wasn't going to make it, and I'm able to knock it out with a Poison Fang. Really crazy way to end that battle. We really had to like jump through hoops to make that work. But yeah, really crazy battle. Alright, so in this one, we get a Hypno lead, and I think a lot of times when I get the Hypno leads, I just try to get a straight Blizzard. I mean, it just feels most people do not respect Castform. I mean, we have seen people shield, but this person actually does not shield, and you can see how much damage this thing does. I figured, why not? We already got the damage off. I'm not going to even shield. We are able to still survive and get a farm down. In comes the Primeape, and we get a shield. And obviously, Seviper actually has a better matchup against Primeape than even something like Machamp carries Rock Slide. We're not afraid of its moves whatsoever. So we're going to throw the Poison Fang. I think I don't even shield. I think I just take the Night Slash. They actually throw 2 Night Slashes back to back. I will shield the second one. They do get an attack boost, but it doesn't really matter because we still resist those moves. And they're running normal Castform. Honestly, this was really cool, but it dawned upon me like this has Energy Ball. So if I don't play around this correctly, I could probably just lose purely because of that. I mean, granted, I feel like I could probably live an Energy Ball from a Castform, even though like I'm 4 times weak to it. So yeah, crazy battle, but yeah, really spicy. It's hard to say, like, I almost feel like, I want to say almost that the normal one's spicier than the ice one, but I just feel like the ice one just so bad. Also, if it's not obvious, I don't feel like you should run this team if you want to actually do well. Alright, so in this match, we're going to switch to our Wish Cache, and they bring in their Pidgeot. Really nicely done on their end. We're going to go straight Blizzard. You know, I'm not the most confident in baiting against flying types with Wish Cache. I mean, granted, there's so many scenarios where, like there, for example, if I would have reversed that, that would have been huge, right? But we're just gonna accept our fate here, and in comes our Snowy Castform. And I figured they weren't gonna Brave Bird me right off the bat, because their defense will drop. And I do shield one of the Feather Dances, probably not the most optimal shield here. And this Pidgeot's actually like tanking our moves now that we're at minus, I think, 2 attack, or maybe it's 4. I don't remember how much Feather Dance drops you, but regardless, we are down in the dumps there. I'm gonna switch in my Seviper on this knockdown, and it kind of makes sense why they're really trying to get rid of my Castform. But crazy enough, we're able to just get these Poison Fangs off on this knockdown, and I think I commit the shield because I see the value in Seviper here. I mean, we kind of have to try our best to use this to win the match. And we know they have the Politoed. And in comes the Politoed. I'm pretty sure I can live a Weather Ball just barely. And that's exactly what happens here. We throw our Poison Fang, which does actually do a decent amount of damage. And, you know, this is the thing about the Castform. It's tanky. I was barely... That was crazy. I mean, the thing is, I feel like Seviper could have came in and won, but that was just great. Alright, so we get a Toxicroak lead, and I switch into my Seviper. This is probably like one of the worst situations I could be in. Like, Toxicroak lead with this Registeel switch in. Like in the last match, I'm not seeing how going for Poison Fang is going to benefit me as much as just throwing straight crunches, and we are actually chunking a lot of damage away from this Reggie. We do get a defense drop. I think here I'm thinking, let me just let it go. Like, there's really no point. So I'm going to just farm down on the Reggie, and they actually make a really nice switch to Lapras, and I think at this point, it's just a downhill battle. I don't really have a win con, realistically. I mean, I'm going to throw my energy here with my Wish Cash, try to get... I get off 3 Mud Bombs, which is kind of nice, but again, it's not enough. And I'm going to bring in Castform on the Lapras to just take the moves. We get hit by a Surf, we're about to get hit by another Surf. I'm just going to let it go. I don't think I'm going to be able to come out on top in this match. I throw a Weather Ball. It does connect. Oh, they actually did shield that. Honestly, kind of crazy that they shielded that. But yeah, this is not good because we honestly have to get a double... Wait, I'm trying to think how this plays out. Because I need to use the double... Wait, actually, do I win this? Well, I might just barely win this one. Okay, no, I couldn't... I couldn't outpace the Toxicroak. I think what ends up happening is I just died to Ice Shard damage from Lapras. Oh no, they still had energy, excuse me. I knew I lost this battle, but I couldn't remember exactly how it happened. But yeah, they had energy on Lapras, and there you go. Yeah, honestly, at this point playing Pokemon Go, I'm just trying to make the game interesting. I'm really into risk for reward playstyle, and something like Snowy Castform, I generally don't think you should run it. But the fact that I had a decent day today running it, I figured you would enjoy some of these close battles because they are pretty insane at times. But yeah, I really appreciate you checking out this video. If you got this far, consider liking, commenting, subscribing. I'm getting rather close to 1,000 subscribers, so if you want to help support the channel, that's the best way to do it. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, the Sass Squad is getting stronger each and every day. You guys have a good morning, evening, afternoon, you're tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one.